So I had this client come to me and tell me that he did blood work because he wanted to check his health and see the state of his health and see what he needed to change in regards to his diet, what supplements he needed to take, etc. And one thing that amazed me was that his doctor told him that his blood work was normal. Now, what does that mean in reality? You see, the way you have to first of all understand the way in which your blood work is measured, like the markers when you go to do the blood test. How do the lab, how does the lab determine if your results are normal or if the results are unhealthy or if they are optimal for that matter? The way it works is that, let's say for example, testosterone levels. How do we determine, how does a lab or how does the healthcare system determine that, from 200 to 600 is the optimal or the reference range? How do we determine that this is normal? Well, the way it works is that they take thousands and thousands and thousands of people, if not millions, anywhere from 18 years old to 70 years old, and they they test their testosterone levels, and they take up an average. So the average across the 18-year-olds all the way up to 70-year-olds is now the reference range. Maybe one guy has 900 nanograms per deciliter, and another guy has 400 nanograms per deciliter. They take the average of this, and then here you go. You are you have optimal testosterone levels, where in reality, it's actually very far from the truth. And the same happens with other markers like, for example, your blood sugar profile or HbA1c, cortisol levels, growth hormone, free testosterone, and all those different markers, they are pretty much measured against the averages of the population. And the scariest thing is that as the population gets unhealthier and unhealthier as a whole, well, your results are the baseline or the standards of what you would need to have in your blood test to be considered healthy drops more and more. So this is quite interesting, isn't it? Because you're trying your best to optimize your health and you're trying your best to optimize your performance, and then you go to your doctor to do you're trying your best to stay on top of your data. Maybe you watch one of my videos and, hopefully you start getting interested in understanding the numbers. What am I even doing here? You see, I'm not used to filming videos and doing kitchen stuff. But let's back to my point. Let's say you watch one of my videos and then, you get motivated to test your blood work, to do your blood work, and to analyze your hormone levels and that stuff. And you may want to know what's going on in your body, which is great. But you go to your doctor or you go to your city's hospital, and you get tested, and then the results come back, and you maybe go to your doctor to tell you his feedback, and he's like, you shouldn't be worried about anything. You have to understand that the doctor views this from a reactive perspective, and you're viewing this from a optimizational kind of perspective. So I'm not if I want to be performing at my 100%, that doesn't mean that I just need to have okay results. If you want to I'm going to give you another example. Let's say you're running ads. If you want to scale your brand to $1 million a month, you probably need to do better than just running the bare minimum KPIs for your ad campaigns. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but after working with a lot of, I've helped a lot of people improve their performance, and a lot of those people were experts in marketing, and so that's why I'm coming up with those analogies in terms of how do those things that I'm talking about relate to you as an entrepreneur that probably knows about all those different areas of your business because they are correlated with the data. And so you understand what I'm trying to say. So when you go to the doctor, he is trying to treat a problem and not optimize your blood work for you to perform like a machine at your work. Those are two completely different things. And so when this client came to me and told me that, his blood work, like he did his blood work, but nothing really, his testosterone was 400 nanograms per deciliter, which would otherwise be suboptimal, or that would be testosterone levels of a 65-year-old a few years ago. His doctor was like, hey, there's nothing wrong. Of course there's nothing wrong. That person is not going to end up sick in a month or so. It's not like his immediate health situation is in danger, but he is not in the most optimal health baseline to be able to perform at his peak mentally. Because testosterone, for example, is one of the most important hormones for how able you are to take risks in your business, how non-afraid you are, and that correlates with the first thing, how confident you are, how much drive you have, how much mental clarity you have, how much energy you have, how well you sleep during the night. All those are so important things that they directly impact how you perform, how you feel, your energy, your mood, your motivation, how ready to get after it you feel every day. And if you are 400 nanograms per deciliter versus 1,000 nanograms per deciliter, the difference is very obvious. Now you're probably like, why am I even saying all that stuff? And the answer is because if you go to your doctor, maybe, he tells you that your blood work is normal and you have nothing to worry about, because maybe, you watched a lot of content and you are starting to become more proactive about your health, your longevity, your mental performance, your physical well-being. But unfortunately, your doctor is probably trained to treat a problem. And the problem that he's the problem that he is trained to treat, he will usually treat with solutions that are probably not likely to fail, aka drugs and medications. Because, for example, imagine you go to your doctor and the doctor tells you, hey, you need to make sure that you're going to bed and waking up at the same time, make sure that you have a structured morning routine to optimize your circadian rhythm, make sure that you do all those things that are related to diet, exercise, supplementation protocols, stress management techniques to make sure your cortisol levels are low and therefore you do X, Y, and Z, versus you take this pill 3 times a day, morning, afternoon, evening, for 12 weeks, and there you go. The second one has way less variables to intervene with your success rate. Whereas the first solution, which might be the most optimal, but the first solution is going to be affected, the success rate of the first solution is going to be affected by the patient's mood, his motivation, his consistency. Life throws a lot of stuff at you and you're not sure if it's going to, the doctor is uncertain if it's going to succeed or not because there's too many variables at play, too many things that are going to externally affect the situation and the outcome. Whereas if you take a medication, it's quite straightforward. You just take this for X amount of time and you're good. So that's why it's a little bit misleading when you try to, optimize your health or be proactive about all those different areas of your performance and your health and your longevity with the conventional way, because the conventional way, the conventional healthcare system is optimized to treat the problem and not to be proactive and to care about all of your different markers being in extremely optimal ranges, not according to the population today, which is getting unhealthier and unhealthier, but according to what is optimal for you. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to say. This is my rant for today. I'm gonna eat my meal. Some homemade pasta with octopus and tomato sauce with some salad. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, I'll see you on the next one.